If you have the impression that over here it's a little bit messy in my workshop, that's because in fact it really is a little bit messy. I tried to fix the leak here in the oil pump of my lathe, and indeed that worked fine. Now it doesn't leak anymore, and also it doesn't pump anymore. But this is something I will take care of a little bit later. As you can see, the shaper is still freestanding, so I can continue working on the shaper model. My idea was to make this time a table. I roughed out a little block here, so it's just simple roughing work, nothing special. I need to make 3 T-slots. Now something is falling down here. The table is held here on the cross slide with this block here, and it's one on the other side too, of course. Now for me the problem is that I could make this plate, it will be 1.5 millimeter large. That's not a problem. The problem is to hold this plate in place, to bolt it in the table. I don't have bolts small enough to keep them together. I think I'm gonna make this table in one part, and I will slide it down from the side. I will have to make a cutout here in this side of my future table, so I can slide it on from this side. But before I do that, maybe better idea to first cut T-slots. Everything is ready to cut. I centered my cutting tool with the typical piece of paper trick, feel that it drags and then goes to the center, no problem. This cutting blade is 1.2 millimeter wide, and I have to cut 1.6 deep. The width of this cut should be 1.4, but this 2/10 I think I'm gonna cut out with the T-slot cutting tool. First make deep slots with this. Right, 1.6. Now let's move 6 millimeter to make the second one. 6 millimeter. This is right, 3 roofs. Let's install the T-slot cutting tool, which I have here. Now this little tool is maybe not really video friendly, that's why I made a bit a drawing from the T-slot I have to make. So the width on the top is 1.4 millimeter and the total depth 1.6. So I made here a little recess of 1 millimeter and a half a millimeter. Very small tool. There is no making of video for this little tool. If you want to know how this tool was made, you can check out in my list of videos, and there is one using the lathe as a tool grinder. That's how I did it. Put this one in the forge out chuck and grind it with the angle grinder. So now I have to mount this tool in this tool holder. And when I made it, I wanted it to be a very tight fit. The problem is, it's a too tight fit. I can get it out. Maybe with the hammer and crowbar mechanic system. Because of a little failure in the memory card of this camera, I lost footage of the T-slot cutting. I think this memory card is getting a little bit old, just like mine. Of course, while doing this, the clapper is locked, of course. Right. Alrighty. Before I can take any measurements on these parts, first I have to install a new power plant in my calipers. Right, let's see if it works. My custom-made tool, let's see how it performs. According to my dials, I have to cut 1/10 of a millimeter more, but just to be sure, I'm gonna give it a little try. It's already a bit too big. Well, that happens. I suppose somewhere in the process there is a very small mistake. On this side it slides on with a little bit of slop, not too much, but I think it's a bit too much. When you slide it the other side, it's stuck. So here, no slop at all. Which means that my rails are not parallel. But I think I'm gonna learn to live with it. If you look at it like this, it doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna stop this video right here, that I have more and more problems with the memory card of my camera. I filmed how I made the cutting tool and this slotting tool here on my lathe. and this footage is lost for humanity. Now, what's the point of videoing something if it doesn't work? I tried a bit of everything. I thought even for a moment I'm gonna call my lawyer, but I'm not sure that's gonna help. So this is it.